Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here coming at you with our 9th video in the Platinum Trophy Guide for Enotria, the last song. In the last video we'd gone all the way through Litumia. Hope I'm saying that correctly. As you can see here, we've gone through and gotten all of the knots and made it to the top and defeated the boss. We also had come back and completed Mersante's quest, which isn't going to hurt anything by doing, as he is the merchant, and his quest is the easiest of all of the 4 NPC side quests that we have to do, as we simply just have to come and talk to him after beating the major bosses and before heading to the final area.
A hammer falls, a spark takes flight. Such beauty.
But as you can see as well, at the end of the last video, I'd gone through and bought all of the weapons and things from him. Now, one thing I will state is at some point afterwards, you might end up getting the trophy for acquiring all the weapons, even though you haven't actually acquired all the weapons in the game, as the trophy is slightly bugged. I guess it's similar to the weapon upgrades, to where you just need to have so many weapons. But as you can see, there's a few that I end up having that might be a couple of duplicates, and it just boasts my number overall, I think. But anyways, as you can see, Comedian's Longsword, I have a few of. Just going through overall, there are duplicates that you can get. But anyways, at some point you might end up accidentally having that pop, so just keep that in mind. And it'll happen after you rest at a knot. So depending if you've been following my guide and picking up all the weapons that I've picked up, then great. If not, But so now the main thing I want to talk about, so if I come to the inventory and come to our key items and scroll all the way down, this is the main focus of the first part of this video, is going to be getting all of these masks, as you'll see. It's definitely quite a lot. But don't worry, I'm going to show you guys exactly where you can farm all of these masks, and we're going to start probably with the quickest ones to get. That's going to be the Magister mask. Let's see, we also have the Gondolier mask, the Ascendant mask. Could have sworn we also had the Fantolio mask, unless I already have it. I'll check here now. But that'll also be one I show as well. Don't worry. I'll check. Yeah, Fantolino's masks I will show you. And also the Automaton's mask. This is also a good spot to get that, as there's 2 of them you're going to find. You should have the Spaventa army mask based on how many of them there are in the second area. And then the rest should be based on just things that we have already done. Like I said, the Highborn masks they give you a decent amount of anyways. But I will definitely go over that. So the first one we want to cover, which is going to have at least 4 different masks that we can farm, is going to be at the court entrance. Now, the reason why I had you get a bunch of hymns of return is to go into this. Now, do note that this also will count as a good Memoria farm. So if you happen to have the Highborn mask, as you'll see, you gain more Memoria, and your luck is increased, so you'll farm more items overall. Like I said, the first area that's going to have 4 different masks that we can farm is going to be the Automaton. As you can see. So here you have your first Automaton that you can fight and defeat. And then, like I said, this also doubles as a Memoria farm. You want to take out these little robots. But then here you got your second mask that you can farm, the Ascendant mask. Then here's the third one, the Magister, right here. Which you have 2 Magisters that you can get right here. Now do note that the Magisters can also drop their weapons, Then from here, you have another automaton. There we go. Just like that, he'll go down. And then here we have the next one, which is the gondolier. Which you can get 3 of, for the most part. There we go, we'll take her out. And then if you come across the bridge here, you have your 3rd gondolier. There we go. And then last but not least, what the 5th and final mask that you can farm is 3 of the Fantalinos here. It's best to take out the 2 small ones and then get the big one. As you'll see right there, you can get 3 possible drops for the mask, and then all you're going to want to do is hit a Hymn of Return to go back to the knot. As you'll see, it takes no time at all, and boom, just like that, you're already back. Definitely annoying. Ah, I see what happened. There we go. But as you can see, you get roughly around 200,000 Memoria every time you do this. Maybe a little bit more. But as you can see, having at least 4 different masks, or now 5 different masks that you can grab all in one spot makes this very efficient. And like I said, they can drop their weapon. The downside though is there's only 1 Ascendant that you can hit in this run. If you're trying to be efficient and you don't want to use your Hymns of Return, you can always just jump into the water down below, and that will get you back to the knot even quicker. So once you've gotten all of these masks, we can then move on to the next one. I'll just do one more run. Definitely a bit annoying. But we'll come over here. Get him. And then, like I said, last but not least, come over here and grab these 3. Now, there is another spot I'll show you to where you can get more Fantalinos. If you want, which I'll go over right now. So I'll show you where it is that we're going to warp to get that. So from here, all we're going to do is we'll fast travel, and it's going to be Road to the District. Alright, so from here, you're basically just going to head backwards. Now, this also will include a Highborn. So if you don't already have the Highborn mask, well, this is how you can easily get one. So you'll basically just backtrack all the way into the mine. Don't know why they have this little walkway area, but oh well. Take this out just so it doesn't follow us. But here you see we have the first 2 Fantalinos. Easily take him out in one shot. Wait a second for their loot to drop. There we go. Take that lady out. And then we'll just head all the way up. Now, the only risk for this one is just the fact that it's more enemies and it takes longer to do. But overall, it's not like the worst. As you'll see, here's the last 2. And then we'll just come up and take out this enemy. Come down here and grab this, and then we'll just quickly return. So that's that one. Now that's pretty much all of the masks that we need to worry about and farm. Or no, we're not fully done. Sorry, my bad. There's one more mask that we need to farm here in Letumnia. So that is in the Glass Blower District. This one is probably going to be the most annoying in my opinion. But from here, it's basically getting the big guys. Alright, so from here, as you'll see, I'm just going to ignore every single other enemy. As there's a total of 3 glass blowers in this area that you can get. So it's best to do a running, or just do a 2 R2s. He'll go down. Get an execution off to get him to spawn quicker, to then get the next glass blower. And then it's mainly just about falling all the way down to certain areas, as you'll see. And here we can get the next one, just like so. Same thing, just do 2 R2s. There we go. There is a third one you can get, but for making it quick, you can then just get the 2 and then Hymn of Return. Just like that. Alright, so now that should be all that's said and done for Letumnia. So now we're going to focus on Felicia Magna, which is actually found at the very first one, the Wall Outskirts. Thankfully, this farm is just right here and has a few enemies that you can use. It's basically the ones who can throw the spears who have a chance to drop it, just like that. And then you can rest and repeat. I'll try and show this off so you can see I'm actually getting the mask. But for the most part, it's not that bad. Some of these masks, I think, if they just lowered the amount, it wouldn't be that bad. But as you'll see, you just run up. There you go, get a fisherman mask. There we go, get another one. Now do note sometimes the enemies just don't have an option to drop a mask. But there is that farm, said and done. Now we're going to move on to the next spot to go over. Which this one will actually be a 2-in-1. Thankfully, which will make it really nice. So once again in Felicia Magna, you'll actually have the Desecrated Cathedral. Now this one will act as 2. So basically from this one, you have 2 that you can hit. So from here is the quicker of the 2. So if you drop down here, you can grab this Huntress to gain the Huntress masks, and then run up here and gain a second one. There we go. 2 Huntresses quickly done in less than a minute. Probably less than 30 seconds. And then from here, we have to head back inside to then farm our next mask. This is one that's going to take a while, as the drops are kind of low. But there are 3 of them, so hopefully you get good RNG and they don't do the same pattern they like to do to me. So here you'll see they're waiting and they're going to disappear. So when they do that, all you're going to do is just run around, wait till they appear. There you go. That's 1 done. That's 2. and then 3. There we go. So that's how you get the Priestess and the Huntress masks. So now we'll go over the last farm that we need here in Felicia Magna, and that is at the Colosseum for the Colossus. There's 3 that we can grab in quick succession, which is pretty nice. So all you're going to do is come to the Colosseum. And I'm sure you already know exactly what I'm talking about. Here we go. Now do note, once you do get all of these masks, you won't get the trophy, as there's 2 that we're missing. But those are story related, so you will eventually get those. There we go, there's the first one down. Then we'll come over here. As you'll see, he'll go down pretty easily. Colossus number 2. You just wait till he picks up the mask, or the rock. It then makes it a lot easier to then go in. There we go, Colossus number 3. And that's how you easily farm them. Don't need to use any hymns of return, as it's just right here. Overall, not too bad. So now we can finally move on to Quinta. Now this one, it's probably kind of annoying, but it's actually at the very start at the shores of Quinta. Alright, so the last 2 that we should have to farm is just the gardeners and the lumberjacks. Here you got your first gardener here. There's a total of 2 gardeners that you can grab, and then 1 lumberjack in this first area here. As you'll see, here's the second gardener. There we go. And then from here, as you can see, we have the lone lumberjack waiting for us. There we go. And you got this annoying guy who's always shooting at you. And then I find it best just to use a hymn of return. That way you don't have to run back and forth all the time. Takes less time, and you basically get the amount that you spend on 1 hymn return back from taking out these 2 guys alone. That's at least 5 runs right there, just from 1 quick kill, more or less. And then you got 3 enemies that you can kill and take out. Now, obviously, I'm going to double check and make sure that I go over pretty much most of, if not all of the remaining ones, if I happen to have missed any. So after this, I'll do a quick teleport back and then go over anything. And if I happen to have missed one, then it'll come right after. There we go. Alright, so that's that farm said and done. Okay, so now that you've farmed all of the masks, it's time to start doing all of the NPC quests. Now note that doing them won't negate you or stop you from getting the other endings, but it's best just to get them all done, because then you're given the option to get the 3rd ending. So for now, what you want to do is come into your loadouts, and then we're going to change the Spaventa guys to the Priestess guide real quick. Wherever it is. There we go. So then all we're going to do, we're here at the, come on, load. Road to the District Knot in Litumnia. Actually, we're going to have to re-equip our main weapons to deal with the enemies at hand. Oh well. I don't know what that guy's swinging at. But from here, you can now put on the Priestess mask, and we're going to come and complete the Priestess questline to get her aspect over here. Basically, you just exhaust all of her dialogue, and you'll get the aspect of faith, which is nice. Now we're going to do the next NPC while we're here. and that is going to be the one for completing Moretta. So we're going to have to put her mask on and travel back to the guild factory. I believe that's the correct name. I'll have it here in just a moment, so just bear with me. So once again, we'll go to loadouts, we'll put Moretta's mask on, and then we're going to fast travel all the way to the Engineers Guild, not the guild. Something guild, so you all know. But from here, we're then going to come over here, talk to her. And then once we have that, we can then move on. So now we have a few of the new NPCs, or the newest NPC, who is going to be Litho, who we haven't touched yet, and you'll probably notice at the very start of the area. So we're going to just need to have 2 masks equipped right now to get the first 2 steps done. The Vermiglio mask and the Piercing Wit mask. So from here, we're just going to fast travel all the way back to the actual, is it City Commons? No, it's the Clock Tower. My bad. Now, you've probably noticed him, but you noticed I didn't do anything with him. Here we go. So from here, we just have this one enemy we got to deal with, and as you'll see, or sorry, my bad, 2 enemies. There we go. Now from here, you just want to, oh, and I guess I missed an item over here. There we go. Just some grenades. But from here, as you can see, we have our frog friend, and you're going to want to equip the Piercing Wit mask and come and talk to him. Basically, he's asking you to distinguish a certain mask based on his riddle. And then from there, that riddle will then determine, okay, do you know who this is? So then from here, the next one we're going to talk to is going to be in the Highborn Streets. So from here, as you'll see, this is where we're going to use the Vermiglio mask. We'll just run past everything just for the sake of it. So we'll then just follow this path that I'm taking. That was annoying. There we go, got my health back. Just keep running past everything till we're over here. Okay, that is annoying. But from here, we're then almost done. Not trying to have anybody follow me. So from here, you're then going to come onto the little side path over here. As you'll see, he's waiting for us, Bargniff. Then from here, you want to equip the Vermiglio mask. There we go. And then what we're going to do is just go back. We'll him for return. And then we'll swap to the last mask that we're going to need to do for this. So from here, like I said, going to swap and put on the Gondolier mask. Wherever it is. There we go, Gondolier. Now we're going to head all the way back to the mines of Gratia. We're almost done, just bear with me a little longer. From here, you're just going to drop down and come off to the side over here. We'll just quickly get past everything. Hopefully we'll just be past everything. They don't follow me. Okay, we're good. And here, as you can see, is our last time with XXMRPILGRIMXX. And then, as you can see, we can now take this to head to the new area. Now then, this is how we're going to get Litho back into the actual theater. So from here, you have a few things that you can do. You've got a chest with a weapon inside. There we go, the Toxic Avenger. You've got a knot. There we go. Then from here, you want to come up. And we'll take this elevator all the way down. There we go. Don't forget to grab this lore item while we're here.
Seek not answers here. Only questions reside. The universe is the greatest question.
So you're going to want to try and come and talk to him and then just leave.
Heard cannot be unheard.
Seen cannot be unseen.
So be it.
As you'll see, you'll now get the XXMRPILGRIMXX riddle, and Litho will now move to the theater. Now from here, we can just swap back. Guess we can't swap anything while we're here. Oh well. So now that we've more or less done all of the main stuff, there's one last thing we gotta do, and that is going to be at Quinta. So from here, you're basically just going to head all the way back to Quinta, and then come all the way over to the West Cliff. Alright, so from here, it's basically pretty simple. I don't know why it's bugged and I can't swap. Maybe I'll just quit out in a moment. But from here, you'll be able to use the key that Fauno had given us at the start of Litumnia. There we go. A couple things we can grab while we're here. But this will be the last thing we need to grab to finish all of the NPC quests. As you'll see though, we can just deal with these guys, that way they don't get in our way. As you'll see, we can then grab the continuity seed and a chest. There we go. I don't know why it's not letting me swap back. I'm probably just gonna have to quit out. But from here, we can now finish all of the 3 remaining NPC quest lines and get the 3 trophies, which just requires a lot of talking. And like I've said before, the NPCs are kind of bugged when you talk to them, and you'll have a glitch to where you can't progress or close out of the dialogue option. So for now, we're just going to head back, and more or less you should be able to just go through and talk to all of the remaining characters to then complete their quests. Okay, so thankfully quitting out did fix it. Here you can find XXMRPILGRIMXX, but for now, we're going to come all the way down here.
A horse-sized frog?
And we're going to do Veltha first.
Tradition tried and true above all.
It's best just to wait till their dialogue is done to then interact with them.
Tradition above all. I could not see. I stood amidst silence was my answer.
Just wait for a little bit. Okay, there we go.
Must you dawdle so? We both have better things to do.
As you'll see, I've been locked out of the conversation, so I'll have to force close the game again. It's a bit annoying, like I've said, And you just have to keep doing this until you complete the quest. So I'm going to have to force close the game because you can't access any of the menus in order to close the game, sadly. Okay, so as you'll see, sometimes...
The ultimate goal.
There we go. You can
The
maybe
hound
talk to
of
her
war
again.
chases the scent. True balance lies. I know I'm master of self. If only I knew. Boom! Must you
Okay.
dawdle so? We both have better things. Must you have? Ah, forget. I like the sound of two.
As you'll see, sometimes the dialogue just keeps messing up until you eventually get what you need. Okay, one more time for the sake of it.
The sun, the light that chases shadow. The arrogance to the world will not yet. Would mothers I want choose marble palaces over their dead sons? I hid from the world, ashamed of my failure. I never thought about that true victory is not fair. If only boom.
There we go. Once you get her role, you'll then get the God of War trophy. Ironic, I know. Then from here, you'll just come over and up. And then you'll probably have to do the same thing with Maja here. You basically just want to keep trying to talk to them when they aren't talking.
A beast for each and something you know. We are yet at perhaps I have seen a mortality's life is met death.
Okay, so probably let's see if resting at the knot then kind of solves that issue. We'll see. But if it doesn't, then you'll just have to keep quitting out, of course. Let's see. I hope that it fixes it, but we'll see.
Light to guide us from the darkness. Everything I touch, precious. How used I was to thirst.
Okay, okay. Nothing? Okay, one more time, maybe? Hopefully. It's definitely an annoying process to have to do this over and over again, but I think it's much better than having to keep quitting out or force closing the game. We'll see. Come on, be kind.
The star. Light to guide us from the darkness. Precious as a how used I embrace your great change. Come, puppy. Is coming. I seek your audience.
Okay, come on.
How comforting your silence is. Everything why, the goddess of undeath.
There we go. We got her role. So that'll get you the life and death trophy. Then from here, we're just going to come up. And once again, follow this path around. And over here is where you'll find Litho. As you'll see.
Priestess, how thin the line between insight and madness. Divine. So the result changes not.
So I'll probably just keep doing.
Have I traversed miracles, man-made, and nature's wrath I've seen.
There we are. So yeah, it's probably best just to, after you interact with them, to come and rest at the knot again. Every single time, sadly. But do not worry.
Priestess, how thin the line between insight and madness. Divine. Do and the universe. This is but one of the herons on the
Okay.
spans the cosmos from an idea. Shrouded by the hunter is the haunted.
Okay, as I was saying, I will leave links to all of their 4 quest lines and everything, as well as a video for how to farm the masks in case you don't want to use mine. Let's see if this third time works, and we got it.
The hermit. One cannot run from an idea. Haunter is the haunted. Not a feeble mind. I sense now. Soon we are. The devil No
Almost.
action exists without reaction.
Okay, one more time. I think we're almost done. Come on.
The devil. No action exists without
Yep.
reaction. Such repent. You have no mouth. I sense now. Soon we are.
Okay, we're slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. But surely it is working. Like I said, I'd rather do this than have to keep quitting out. Takes way too much time to have to keep force closing the game, reopening it.
The tower, ill omens swell beneath the tales of men. Wars, sight, flesh, and tool. Layers mind like an interpreter. The curse speaks gone too short for foresight.
Can I... We done? Nope. One more time. Okay. So I guess if you have any dialogue that shows up down below is when you need to rest. That you can't skip. Okay. This is definitely the guy who likes to talk the most, so I probably should have done this first. Oh well. Okay, let's see.
Allow me fear the
Okay. Okay, there we go. That'll get you Aspect of Litho, and that'll get you the Object Trophy. There we go. We're almost done. So now it's time to go over all 3 endings of the game. Now, eventually, if you leave and then come back to the theater, you should get a little cutscene of Veltha showing up to talk to you. So we'll just quickly do that. Just go back to the Field of Beginnings, and then back to the theater. Come on. There we go. Nope. Maybe let's see about force closing and seeing if that'll do it. Because I know it takes a bit of time for it to happen. Huh. Okay. There it is. Okay.
Puppet, come. We must speak.
Okay, so now that you have this available, you now have the ability to gain all 3 of the endings, which I'm about to explain in detail. Alright, so in order to get all 3 endings, you have 2 options initially if you don't do any of the NPC quest lines. That is to accept the offer at the end after doing the quote-unquote final boss. And then the other option is to reject the offer and to attack, and that will then unlock a secret boss afterwards. However, the third option is to then do all of the NPC quests that will give you an aspect. And then, as you'll see, now we can talk to Veltha, and then you still want to reject the offer and do the second secret boss at the end of the game. Now, if you're trying to get all 3 endings in one go, you want to quit the game and make a backup save. Now, if you happen to have a USB flash drive or are using or have PlayStation Plus, you can then upload your save to the PlayStation Plus cloud, and then when you reload it, you'll be back right here. I would highly recommend doing it, because even though you do have to go into New Game Plus anyways, which I will go over, and if you do beat the game, you don't automatically get put into New Game Plus. Thankfully, you were given an option. But I'll try and go over everything that I can before you need to go into New Game Plus and what all you have to get. But I would highly recommend backing up your save now. That way you can get all 3 endings like I said, if you want to write it down, or if you want, I will leave a link to that as well in the description of this video. That way you guys can follow along with that. By all means, go for it. So for me, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna be right back. Alright, so one last thing that I should also mention that you want to make sure you have turned off when doing this, if you are uploading your save, is to have it so that the PlayStation Plus doesn't automatically sync your save. Otherwise, you'll accidentally overwrite it, and you'll have ruined the whole thing. But once ready, we can then just do the secret ending to get it out of the way. So once you get to this point, you'll just want to agree. Then you'll come and talk to Pulcinella,
But all that being said,
and now you can then
whatever
make your
end
way
we
to
it
the
has been
final
written down
area of the
to
game.
compose the song of change.
There we go. Here we are. Now, for the most part, there's no enemies to fight along this, so don't worry. But I will show you how to grab all of the lore items here while we're at it. There's only a couple. So, nothing too crazy. Don't think there's anything over here. Nope. As you'll see, we have our second lore.
Strale velata, a twisted reflection of Arlecchino's shattered mind.
And just double checking all the sides, because, you know, they like to hide things, as you can see. Then we'll just head up and head to the other side to save on time. As you'll see, nothing crazy. Nope. But from here, there is a lore note that you are going to have to grab on, I forget which side it's on, as you'll see right here. There we go. And then you could just hop back over the railing. I don't think that there's anything outside here. Nope. Almost done. As you'll notice, there's another one waiting for us off to the left. Here we go. Part 4. And as you can see, a chest as well. There we go. Then from here, we'll come over to the right side. Grab whatever items we can. There we go. And then last but not least, we'll come upstairs and grab our last lore item here on the right. Should be part 5. And then when you're ready, we can head inside and take on the boss. Like always, I'll skip the cutscenes. Now here we have Arlecchino.
What crude craftsmanship.
I grow weary of this.
A grace I afforded you.
There we go.
Enough games.
Now, he has like 3 phases overall. That definitely hurt. There we go. I think he's slightly bugged. Yep. There, okay. There's a whole other phase that I missed.
No. How could...
Okay. So, once you do that, you'll have beaten Arlecchino and will get his mask. You'll also get the 1,000 Faces trophy for some reason. So you get 2 trophies overall. And then here's that option I was talking about.
Do not
But
waver now.
since we're going for the 3rd ending, we're going to then attack. And now we'll have to face our 2nd secret boss.
Become better.
Unless the game's just going to freeze on me. I guess so. Okay.
You
There we
arrogant
go.
fool.
Okay. So I had to force close the game. But at the very start, Pulcinella will then take away all of your lines. There we go.
Face the bard that wills the song. Stop this madness!
Ow.
Cassio!
There we go.
No, not again! Not like this!
And then you'll get the Unstoppable Force trophy, as well as the Pulcinella trophy. There we go.
What cruel machinations led you to this?
Then you'll get the God of Man trophy, the 1,000 Rolls trophy, and that should be it. Alright, so while we enjoy my character in this beautiful pose, like I said, once you've gotten all 3 endings, the main one you want to keep is the one that has the secret ending, I'll say. So if you don't want to do that one first and want to do it last, by all means you can. That was definitely a weird pose for my character. But I'm going to then go and get the last 2 endings. Like I said, you don't want to talk to Veltha, and then once again fight Pulcinella again to get another ending, and then the 3rd ending is where you accept their agreement and you give yourself to Arlecchino, which is okay. But anyways, I'm going to see you once I've done that. Once again, I'll leave links on how to get these so you can choose to do them however you see fit. But there's one last thing I want to talk about before I end this video. So I'll see you then. Alright, so once you've done that, gotten all of your endings, and then have everything that you need, as you'll see if you come back here at the knot, you can then start New Game Plus whenever you want. But I would highly recommend not doing that for now, as there's some things I have to go over and want to talk about that will be important, and it's best just to do it when it's the easiest rather than when it's going to get harder on you. So first and foremost, as always, you'll want to come back and talk to Michinate, and you'll have some new weapons and things that we can buy from him that we're going to want to do. So from here, as you can see, we can get a few more weapons. There we go. 2 more pairing gems, and then 2 more line abilities. There we go. All is set and well. And like I said, pretty much the last things that you are going to need, and if I remember correctly, if I've gotten everything, I should have. I'll double check, and if I might miss anything, I'll cover it in the next video, which is more or less just going to be a cleanup before you have to go into New Game Plus, which shouldn't be that bad. If I remember correctly. Once again, I'll double check. But for the most part, the last few things is just, like I said, it's cleanup. It's the compendium and all the enemy entries. And then as well, if you haven't already, since I should have done it while I was over there, fully upgrading a normal mask, a special mask, a line ability will also get you some trophies. So if you have something that you really like in terms of a mask, that's great. Basically, it's the ones that require, where is it? Unrivaled broken masks are basically the main ones, which of those are just the boss masks. Nothing super crazy. Not sure which ones I really like the most in terms of which boss mask, but maybe Arlecchino, maybe Pulcinella. I don't know. But basically, just fully upgrading one of them will then also get you a trophy, the Master Decorator, and then, like I said, if you happen to have a line ability that's really good, the breath attacks actually do really well, in my opinion, in terms of getting good damage and building up the stagger bar on some, and that'll get you the whole script trophy as well. But this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and like I say, as always, I hope that these videos and guides are helpful or informative in any way, shape, or form. And as always, though, I will see you all in the next video.
Ah, my favorite customer. Business is not exactly booming, what with a statue, the pickiest warrior in all, a glorif, and a bard.